Speaker, I appreciate the opportunity of closing the debate on the first reading of this bill, and I don't want to spend too long on it, but I would just like to address a few remarks to those 15-year-olds out there who are obviously going to be disappointed that they're going to be held back a year before they can get their driver's licence. But I would ask them to understand that it's been estimated that moving the age up just 1 year to 16 will save at least 4 lives, prevent 25 serious injuries and 148 minor injuries a year. That is significant. It's also estimated that in social cost terms there will be a saving of about $38 million. And I'd ask those young people to understand that the world has changed enormously since I got my licence very shortly after my 15th birthday, 45 years ago. But the driving age has not been adjusted accordingly. So when I went for my test, the first thing you did was ring up the local traffic cop, said you wanted to take your licence test, and they gave you a time. You showed up, he hopped in the car, and the first thing you did was you wound down the driver's window. This was so that when you came to do the right turn test, you could stick your arm out the window to indicate that you were changing direction. Or if you were stopping, stick your arm out in the stop sign. And if you were turning left, you stuck your hand in the front, the windscreen to oncoming traffic that you were going left.
Order. I'm
sorry, Mr. Speaker, I should have learnt from your reprimanding my colleague, and you're quite right. I put my hand in and indicated. Anyway, if you were unlucky, if the youngster was unlucky, the youngster was required to stop on a slight slope and show the ability to start again without rolling back. The driver went round the block. Traffic cop said, "Yes, son, you're fine," and in 10 minutes I had my licence. There was much less traffic on the road than there is now. Cars were far less powerful, and I don't think that I knew a 15-year-old who actually had the use of their own car. It was a matter of massive negotiation with one's parents, and there was certainly no suggestion that one would drive to school. And a lot of lawns, I think, had to be mowed in order to get the use of the car once a week if one was lucky. So I just want to say, Mr. Speaker, that I hope that 15-year-olds will appreciate that there is very, very good reason for this change being made. I think many of us would think that it's actually quite long overdue, and I'm pleased to see it happening. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I commend the bill and support its referral to the Select Committee.
Thank you. Members, the question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. Contrary will say no. The ayes have it.
Land Transport, Road Safety and Other Matters Amendment Bill, first reading.
Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
I move that the Land Transport, Road Safety and Other Matters Amendment Bill be considered by the Transport and Industrial Relations Committee, that the committee present its final report on or before 16 December 2010, and that the committee have authority to meet at any time while the House is sitting, except during oral questions and during any evening on a day on which there has been a sitting of the House, on a Friday in a week in which there has been a sitting of the House, and outside the Wellington area, despite Standing Orders 187, 189A and 190, 1B and C.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. Contrary will say no. The ayes have it.
Speaker. Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order. The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
I seek leave to make a personal explanation under Standing Order 349 in regard to my driving record.
Leave is sought for that purpose. Is there any objection? There is no objection.
Mr. Speaker, when I spoke in my first reading speech of my own driving record, I was operating from memory. Subsequent to that speech, I received a media inquiry